Welcome back to my channel. Hey guys, I'm Sarah Noked, and in today's video, I want to share with you the reasons why I bloody hate time tracking. I'm actually going to share with you the reasons why you should be time tracking in your business, and I'm going to tell you and show you how I do this in my business so that you can really leverage these same practices in your online service professional business to make the most of your time. The only thing we can't get more of. Now, if you're like me, you've got kids crawling all over you all the time. You're oftentimes having to board up the door of your office and all those things. So your time is definitely one of those things that you don't have a lot of. And as online service professionals, we need to make the most out of every minute of our day and to really maximize. And I don't care if you are charging by the hour or charging based on project, you still have to track your time. So we love time tracking in our business. And as online service professionals, we're specifically online business managers, but it doesn't really matter what you're doing. You could be a graphic designer, a virtual assistant, some other online service professional, and you are going to benefit from all of what I'm going to share today around time tracking. So first off, let's quickly define time tracking. So tracking your time is when you use hopefully a tool, and I'm going to share with you some of the tools that we use, but you use a tool to track the time that you're spending towards business activities. So you could be tracking towards time, on overarching things like accounting or administration or project management, or you could get really specific and track time towards nitty-gritty specific tasks. Now, in a minute, I want to show you what we do in our business. But I think for the sake of what I want to share today, you want to time track in the way that is most comfortable to you. And this is going to evolve and look different based on if you are a solopreneur or you're working with a team. So I want to share with you, before I get into the reasons why you should be doing this, I just wanted to show you a little bit about what it looks like on the back end so that you can, conceptually see what this looks like in someone's business. Because I find if I don't have a visual, it's difficult for me to actually see what's going on. So inside of Teamwork PM, I'm just showing you inside of our operations project, but what we do is we click on the little time icon and we're able to track time towards specific tasks. And I like to do that because I can see, using my project management tool, how much time all my team members are tracking towards specific tasks, from an operational perspective. What is also really nice about this is if you have clients and you have team members working on client work, they can track time towards the client projects, and you can have this extra little step in place to make sure that you really do stay on top of retainer hours or, promised time that you would spend on a client project. This is really good from a productivity perspective. And if you missed my video last week, you'll know I shared all my productivity hacks in that video, and time tracking was absolutely one of them. Okay, so you've seen a little bit about what it looks like on our back end. And now I want to really share with you the reasons why you should be time tracking. Now, I want to share my tips today, but I want to put the caveat in place here that it doesn't matter if you are just getting started as an online service professional or you are rocking it in your trade. Time tracking is going to be beneficial for you for many, many reasons. And the first being, if you're just getting started, it's going to help you with your pricing strategy. So in order to come up with a price, whether you have a retainer or you are pricing out a specific offering or a service package, you really need to know how long things take you. As an online business manager, if I'm going in to set up systems for a client and I know that I need to create 5 SOPs, I'm gonna roughly need to know how long it takes me to create a standard operating procedure so that I can effectively price that project and not lose money or not feel that I'm not making the most of my time. Likewise, if you are a seasoned online support professional, you also have to recognize that your time is the thing that you can't get more of. And so you have to make the most of it. And in order to be efficient, and especially if you are the CEO and you are wearing your CEO shoes, you want to make sure that you know how long things take you and that you are not procrastinating or spending your time on things that could be delegated. So when we start working with a new OBM client, and this is for those of you watching here today that are thinking about bringing on team, when we start with a new OBM client, one of the first things we do is a time audit. And we ask that client, spend a couple weeks and let me know where you're spending your time. time, you can ask your client to keep a log, or you can have a proper tool in place where they can track their time. And then what we do is at the end of that period of time, we look at where is the time being spent? And I promise you, 9 times out of 10, it is a shocker for our clients because they realize that they are not utilizing their time in the way that is going to be best for their own business. So that's a really important thing for us to remember as CEOs in our own businesses, that you want to make sure that you are spending your time in the best way possible, especially if you have a family or people that you take care of or things that are priorities for you as well in your life, that you want to make sure that you seize the time that you have. Now, the second real reason, if you are a service support professional, why you want to be tracking your time is to have a documentation of what you're doing in case a client asks you questions. If you are reporting, which you should be, if you have retainer clients, you should be letting them know where their retainers stand. If you're an online business manager or a virtual assistant or a graphic designer or any kind of service support professional in between, and you're working on retainer or on a project, you want to make sure to keep your client in the know. What's happened, what still needs to happen, how much time is left on their retainer. Reporting to your client is one of those things where, when you have full transparency, especially as an OBM, you have so much trust with your client. So from a perspective of trust and reporting, time tracking really does make it easier for you to know where things went. And if a client asks you, hey, Sarah, I need to know where you spent your time last month because I have to report it to my tax authority or whatever, because that's happened to me a few times, I'm able to deliver that in a way that feels really authentic. And it just, the amount of trust that can come from that is worthwhile for sure. Now, my next point is all about team growth. So you might not be thinking to yourself, you might be of the mindset, and I was like this for a few years when I started my service support professional business, but you might be thinking to yourself, I never want to have team. I'm totally okay with being a solopreneur. I don't want to bring on a team. And in that case, you can go back to point 1 where I talked to you about productivity and pricing strategy. But all jokes aside, my hope for you one day is that you will bring on a team and that you will start to implement these practices with your team, like time tracking. And you'll realize that it really does make for more efficiency. Now, if you already have a team, hands down, baking out your company culture as one being transparent, but transparent from the perspective of wanting to sort of nickel and dime you on your time by wanting to understand where you are most efficient so that I can have you doing the things that you want to do and give Susie, the VA, the things that she's better at. So a lot of the times we find that when we track time, we notice that, okay, so maybe it took Susie, the VA, 20 minutes longer to do the client care, but the client care is done effectively and properly so that we're willing to keep that on Susie's plate, even if it takes her a little bit longer, because she gets it done better and everyone's happier. So you're looking at it not just from a, saving time perspective, you're looking at it from an efficiency perspective. And this is a really important practice to have in place, both from a company culture perspective, but also from a transparency with your team perspective, and being able to have the team working towards, client projects together and tracking their time together. It really does make for a very clean, crisp understanding of what is happening. So at any given time, I can look and I can see how much time a contractor has spent on a client project or on an internal project. And it ultimately makes me feel as a CEO that I am in the most control possible of what's happening with my team. And I'm also keeping my own self in check, because here's the other thing. We lead by example. Like, as an online business manager, if I'm not going to track my time in my business, well, then how can I expect my team to track their time? And I might not be tracking every minute of my time, but I'm time blocking. And actually, I'll leave that video in the description below, because time tracking is one of those things that really go hand in hand with this notion of time, right? So I really work in blocks of time doing some of the bigger picture strategy in my business or working on a client thing. I know weekly what my time looks like and where my time is best being spent. I've been tracking my time for so many years that I already know what I'm best at. So when I find myself spending too much time in our CRM creating automations that could be best delegated to the tech VA on our team, I know I'm procrastinating. And then I can sort of keep myself in check, because that's the honest truth. So I hope that you do implement time tracking in your business. I know that it's one of those practices that doesn't always feel fun or easy, and time tracking itself is time consuming, which is sort of the irony. But I promise you, if you can get this down pat and start to implement this as a daily habit that you are leveraging constantly throughout the day by keeping your time trackers going and making sure that you are, finding one that integrates nicely with your project management tool, then you are going to have a solid foundation in your business to effectively price, effectively scale your team, and as the CEO, best utilize your time. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click that bell so that you get notified, and hit subscribe so you get notified because we drop a new video weekly, all things online service professional based, so that you can really rock your business in a way that feels authentic so you can live that life by design. I will see you in our next video.